welcome to the mousiemakes podcast. I'm Helen and you are very welcome to be here with me today. So what am I going to talk about today? I am going to just have a quick chat about the progress of the projects I'm doing at the moment, knitting and crochet ones that is. And I have actually also been doing some sewing, but I'm going to save that for a separate podcast. So I'm going to talk about my knitting and crochet that I've got on the go. We're going to go into the kitchen again. I like going into the kitchen, and we are also going to go out for a walk to see some snowdrops. So I hope you're going to enjoy today. Sit back and relax, and off we go. First of all, with knitting projects. So I haven't finished anything. Well, I haven't really got any finished projects since I last talked about projects. I kind of part finished something, which I'll show you in a moment. The mitered square leftover sock yarn blanket, I haven't made much progress on since I last chatted to you. I think last time I'd done about 28 squares, and I think I only done about 3 more. So I haven't worked on that quite so much in the last couple of weeks. And I am I started a new pair of socks, making some socks. For the first time ever, I'm making some knee-length socks. I had a little message from my sister-in-law a week or so ago saying, is there any chance that you can knit some socks for the girls who are my nieces? Because every time you make me some socks, they take them and wear them instead of me. So she wasn't being able to enjoy the socks that I'd made for her, several pairs of socks. So I said, yes, of course I will. And she also added that the older one, Nell, loves knee-length socks at the moment. So I thought, okay, well, I'll give that a go. And I got the measurements from her, which seemed very long. She's got longer legs than me. She's just... she's coming up to 11, and she's got longer legs than me. Mind, I haven't got very long legs, so there we go. I have done the heel flap and turned the heel and done the gusset, so now I am ready for doing the foot. So it is very long. It looks far too long for me, but that is the measurement that they gave me, so I hope it'll be okay. I love it when I give people socks and they really, really love them. It's really, really excellent. So another knitted project that I've started is some more fingerless gloves, and making them from the book I use, Knitting from the North, that I made the hat from recently. Well, I started them, and then I pulled it all out because they seemed to be too big. And I thought maybe the yarn that I was using was maybe not equivalent to the yarn it said in the pattern. And I thought it was the same weight and things as the Shetland Spindrift that was in the pattern. But I don't know, it just seemed to produce a really large mitt, so I took it all out. I've started again using the actual yarn it says in the pattern. They're still looking to me to be a little bit wide, but perhaps they'll be okay, I'm not sure. I haven't done quite enough to properly try them on and decide if they're okay yet. So that's that. I've got one crochet project on the go, which I did tell you about last time and didn't show you, and it's just another shawl like the pale blue one that I knitted before. I am about halfway through it because I've got 4 50-gram balls of sheepy's yarn to use, and I'm on to the 3rd one now, and then I'll do a border in a kind of pale brownish colour. Anyway, that's a lovely relaxing thing to get on with. Really enjoy that. The 5th project is the mouse that's made by the same designer as the beautiful little bear that I made, Sadie, Souris, designed by Cynthia Valet. lovely pattern, just like the bear, knitted all in one piece, just like the bear was. She is rather cute. She is rather cute. But of course, she's got no clothes yet. That's why I say it's kind of finished but not finished, because I'm going to make her a little dress, I think. I've got a choice of making a dress or a top and kind of not dungarees but trousers with braces. So I think I might make her a dress, because I might make another mouse and then perhaps be a little boy mouse. I haven't given her a name yet. I might just call her Sadie, but I haven't quite decided. I'm going to make a dress and then decide. So she is actually, it's slightly funny because she's the same size as the bear that I made. So mouse and bear the same size, but he's a tiny bear, and well, it doesn't really matter about the scale, does it? So, and I thought you might be interested to see Sadie being stuffed, because it is a bit of an art, stuffing a soft toy like this, and really quite fiddly. One of the things that I would say is that you need to just not rush it at all. You need to take your time and put in, especially for something thin like the legs, put in the tiniest amount of stuffing each time you put stuffing in. I have a pair of embroidery scissors that I use to pat the stuffing right in. And what you do when you're starting to stuff, say, a thin thing like a leg, is the tiniest bit in, stuff it right, and just keep feeling it. And that's the thing you'll see me do, is that I put some stuffing in and then I just kind of feel it. It's almost, and I'm almost moulding it a bit like, making something from clay. And you just keep adding the tiniest bit of stuffing. But I will tell you a secret, which is I accidentally have given Sadie 2 left feet, because I didn't notice in the pattern when I was doing the right foot that it said, now do the same as for the left leg, but I didn't notice it say as far as foot shaping, so I just carried on and did all of the left leg, but I don't think you can actually notice. Anyway, so when you're stuffing a bigger thing like the body, obviously I just use my fingers a lot of the time, and constantly feeling to make sure that there's not any gaps and there's not any big lumps, and also that you're not putting too much stuffing in, and constantly looking to make sure you're not stretching the knitted fabric. I find crochet toys easier to stuff than knitted ones. I don't know, they're a bit firmer and you can't overstretch it so easily. So there we go. So I just did lots and lots of careful stuffing and then feeling, and then eventually she was as full as I needed her to be, and then I had to graft the opening where I was putting the stuffing. Slightly undignified, wasn't it? Anyway, so I had to graft that with Kitchener stitch, and I mean, you can barely see that there's, that there was a hole there, and there was a little hole at each side of the grafted stitches, which I just sewed over. So yeah, altogether I'm very pleased with her. She's a cute little character, and I'm looking forward to making her a dress. So there we are. I'm going to sit back up there. So then let's go into the kitchen next. A couple of weeks ago you might have watched me making some lemon curd. I wonder if you've made any yet, or if you just enjoyed watching me make it. Anyway, I really fancied using some of the lemon curd to make some little lemon tarts. So I had seen recently somebody else on YouTube making some lemon pastry to use for lemon curd tarts. So I thought I would do that as well. So that's what I'm going to do next in the kitchen. well, they were really nice. So I can highly recommend them if you fancy some extra special lemon curd tarts. Well, I think we'll go out for a walk now. We're going to go off and see some snowdrops. Snowdrops are such beautiful little flowers, aren't they? Don't you just love them? I do. Definitely, they're one of my favourite flowers. And apparently, I was looking up some information about them recently, and they were thought to be introduced into England round about the 1500s. But they've been around for a lot longer than that. They're mentioned in ancient Greek literature, for example. So they definitely have been around a long time. And for a long time, they were just associated with hope and purity. And you can understand that, the hope, you know, these little flowers appear in the middle of winter, and they look so delicate, don't they? And yet they're so strong. They survive the winds battering them, the snow falling on them, but they just survive. They're a really hopeful sign of the longer days and the warmer weather to come. So yeah, and a little bit later in time, in Victorian times in England, they became more associated with death. And I don't know if that was just because they have a tendency to do really well growing around churches in graveyards and things. I don't really know why that was, but there was a superstition that said that if you cut snowdrops and brought them into your house, then that would cause a death. So it is just a superstition, so it is fine. Although it is lovely to see them growing naturally. I wouldn't really necessarily feel like picking any and bringing them into the house. They do look nice in the natural environment. So unfortunately I can't get snowdrops to grow in our garden at all. I've tried many times. I've planted bulbs, I've been given clumps of snowdrops that have finished flowering and planted them out, and I think perhaps I just don't have the right kind of soil here. It's quite interesting actually that in the woods near here that I go walking in, I've never seen any snowdrops. But just a little bit further away from us, there's a village with a church where the snowdrops just grow in profusion. And so we went there. We went there 3 weeks ago when there was just the start of a little bit of snow, and then we went a week ago as well to see the snowdrops again, because actually the first time we went they weren't all out. One side of the churchyard they were all out, but the other side none of them were out. You could see the little buds, but they hadn't actually come out. So, and it's a really lovely little English village that we went to, with a church that's not old as far as many English churches go. It was built in 1851, and its spire was added about 20 years later than that. But it is a very nice little church, has its own set of bells. And that's where my husband, in normal times, when there's no pandemic, would go bell ringing every week. Twice a week actually. So bell ringing practice there through the week, and then ringing the bells for the service on Sunday. So it's a lovely little place, and we had a marvellous time. So you'll see some video of when it was a bit snowy, and then other videos where it looks quite sunny and nice. So I'll kind of merge all of those bits of video together. So here we go. Enjoy the snowdrops.
To a Snowdrop by William Wordsworth. Lone flower, hemmed in with snows, and white as they, but hardier far, once more I see thee bend thy forehead, as if fearful to offend, like an unbidden guest. Though day by day storms sallying from the mountain tops waylay the rising sun, and on the plains descend, yet art thou welcome, welcome as a friend whose zeal outruns his promise. Blue-eyed May shall soon behold this border thickly set with bright jonquils, their odours lavishing on the soft west wind and his frolic peers. Nor will I then thy modest grace forget. Chaste snowdrop, venturous harbinger of spring and pensive monitor of fleeting years. The Snowdrop by Anna Letitia Barbauld. Now the glad earth her frozen zone unbinds, and o'er her bosom breathe the western winds. Already the snowdrop dares appear, the first pale blossom of the unripened year. As Flora's breath, by some transforming power, had changed an icicle into a flower. Its name and hue the scentless plant retains, and winter lingers in its icy veins. The Snowdrop Fairy by Cicely Mary Barker. Deep sleeps the winter, cold, wet, and grey. Surely all the world is dead, spring is far away. Wait, the world shall waken, it is not dead, for lo, the fair maids of February stand in the snow.
Lovely, all those snowdrops. I did have a nice time. All right, well, I am going to stop chatting on now for today, and thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. But for the moment, just stay safe and keep busy, and I will see you again soon. Okay then, bye.